how to walk around the pole, how to feel comfortable using the pole, right? To all the way up to spins and climbing the pole and doing really cool moves on the pole. So
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shapely TV. So, this episode is so exciting. I can't wait to dive into it. We have the lovely Kenyetta. Most call her Kenni, correct?
yes, Kenny's cool.
So we're gonna introduce ourselves. I'm Iya, and you can find me across all platforms at Shapely Events.
I'm Toya, and you can find me on Twitter at Toya Do It Big.
My name's Kenyetta, and you can find me at mypolefitnessjourney_.
Okay, there you go. So we recently, is it recently? If it's like months ago, met Kenni at Shapely Ski. If you didn't look at the events page, you missed out. You missed out.
And you missed them slopes.
Yes.
Mhm.
And
Them bunnies.
we found out an interesting thing that Kenni teaches and practices pole and very open and accepting to the plus size body.
Mhm.
With this month's episode being all about getting back to school, back to work, we figured that, the kids are going to be gone if you have kids. I'm still looking for my soulmate for some, but I digress. And, the adults are going to have some sexy time, right? So speaking of sexy, if you're 21, over 21, the drinking word of the episode is sexy. So take a shot. But you're going to have some sexy time, and it's time to tap into your inner Vixen. And that's why we felt Kenni would be the perfect guest. So Kenni, please let people know what it is you do and what is your pole classes and stuff about.
Yes. So thank you so much for that introduction, Aya. I'm so excited to present this to everyone because pole sport or pole fitness is one of those alternative forms of not only fitness, but ways of expressing your sensuality. So I've been doing pole for about 4 years now. I am personally located in the Philadelphia area, so that's where I'm located. And I teach a 6 weeks series to plus size athletes, those who are plus size. Yes, 6 week series worth of learning beginner pole moves. So coming into the studio, we'll start you from the beginner of how to walk around the pole, how to feel comfortable using the pole, right? To all the way up to spins and climbing the pole and doing really cool moves on the pole. So that's what I've been doing. I've been teaching for about 2.5 years here in Philly. But overall, I've just been on this pole journey for about 4 years.
Okay. So we recently had the skateboarders on.
The skate club, chub rolls.
Yes. And like you, they created an atmosphere for beginners. And I know as a plus size person, when I hear pole,
Right.
I'm like, oh, my upper body strength sucks.
And your core.
Yeah. So is this, you said beginners, but like how beginner? If I never climbed a pole a day in my life, am I gonna feel comfortable?
Absolutely. The course that I teach, the 6 week series, is made for beginners, those who either maybe had a little bit of experience, maybe going to a pole party for like a bachelorette party, or someone who's never done it before, never had any athletic ability maybe, and is just interested in pole and learning the moves. So if you're a beginner, intermediate, have some experience, this course is for you.
Shout out to our girl Bries from Brie and the Breeds, because I just saw on her story that she's now able to pull herself all the way up.
Oh my gosh, Brie is lovely. She's a friend of mine, really close friend of mine, and she's taking my 6 week series at the studio. And to be able to see her progress over the last couple of weeks has been amazing. You're right, she's definitely climbing the pole now. It's, and like you said, you pointed to upper body strength, core strength. Pole is a full body workout. So even if you don't have those things coming in, you will definitely have those things as you work on them.
When I saw it, I was like, somebody's song gonna be happy this summer, child.
Yes, that's what I think too.
And watching your feed, it's like I feel like you do a really good job at tapping into your inner sexy without over sexualizing yourself. if that makes sense. And you make it look very effortless.
I witnessed it personally in Shapely Ski, which you guys missed.
Because Kenni came back a whole new Kenni. Like, okay.
Wait a minute, what was this part? What was that?
Like, so
we were all doing the busing challenge.
I remember now. I remember now.
Could you share some insight onto how did you begin to tap into that, and was there any self-discovery involved?
That's a good question. How did I start tapping into my inner sensuality, that inner sexy, take a shot, goddess, right?
You understand the assignment, okay?
I came ready. But I think this may be a cliche to say, but I feel like I've maybe had this energy in me all along, but just didn't know how to express it in a way that was beneficial and that fit me. I've always been into, not to sound vain, but physical appearance, makeup, hair, nails, all those different things. I think as I was younger, that's how I would express myself sensually. But as you become an adult, you become a woman, you start to realize like, hey, I have these curves, I have these hips, and this is what I can do with them. And sometimes society, well, not sometimes, all the time, society will villainize you for wanting to express yourself that way. As a woman or someone who identifies as a woman, they shame you for doing that. They put you down. They want to stuff you in a box and say, "Hey, don't do that." But that's where I kind of came in with pole. When I first moved to Philly 4 years ago, I was looking for an outlet, and what I did was I typed in pole studios in Philly, and I got started from there. So coming to the pole classes and always having that inner sensuality in me, I found my outlet. And I found a way that works best for me. You know, pole sometimes isn't for everyone. I've introduced pole to so many different friends of mine, and sometimes it's not a sport for them. But for those of you who not only want to get some fitness activity in, but want to feel sexy, take a shot, want to feel sensual and get that out of you, pole is such a good way to do it.
I wanted to say that I think, as a person who found her sport. My sport at the time, I'm not practicing now, but I was a power lifter. I think when you find your sport, it allows you to reach a new level of comfortability with your body, and I think that's what having a sport, no matter what it is, that's like one of the benefits.
Right. And so I like that you mentioned that it should put you in touch with your body, because that's what pole dancing does. That's what any form of dance, but especially pole, because there's agility and strength and flexibility involved in that kind of movement. So even if you're not aware of your body initially, and maybe you never have been, coming into the sport, that's something you'll gain. You'll gain that self-awareness of your body and where you are in space and how to move so that a move looks a certain way. You'll gain that. And you keep doing it enough over time, you'll become a master of your own physical body. And I think that's something a lot of plus size individuals would really like to have, that master of, hey, this is my body, I own it, and I can do these things too.
I struggle with my sexiness. Like I've always felt cute. I've never felt sexy. I've never felt va 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's been a point of contention in several relationships. And I would say it's not between like the past year or so that I started to tap into that. And what I like about, you guys, and, last month we had Jasmine on, is that you guys live that, like when you're on and when you're off. Because I was telling Toya how, I got all dressed up to go to the club, and y'all saw me from down the block, and y'all yelling like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yes, put it on.
And it was crop tops and shorts that night,
Yes.
And I think that a lot of times too, it's a sense of community as well. And community doesn't have to be 100 people. Community could be one person,
Mm-hmm.
two people. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important. And as I started aligning myself with people who have done a good job with tapping into that, I find that it's easier for me to find whatever my definition of sexy is, because my definition of sexy still has some comfort to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna wear that with some flats, you know?
Or they can be that high.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A little hill right here.
Whatever your level is, you know?
Yeah.
And I like that you refer to it as a sport. And I feel like in the past 5 minutes, I see why now, considering the agility required, the upper body strength required, and how you graduate towards that. Is that kind of difficult for people to understand? Or do you find that people automatically see it and associate it with, oh, just dancing around the pole? Like, do people appreciate the sports aspect of it?
I don't think so just yet. I think in general society, especially Western culture, we still associate a lot of the sexual connotation to pole dance. We think of it like, oh, you're doing pole, and what do they think of? Someone being in the club, in the industry, and there's nothing wrong with that. I support those who are sex workers who use this as their main source of income and are really good at it. But that's what people typically go to. They think that's what it is. And because we live in the society that we do, people kind of like, oh, that's what it. Yeah, 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 exactly. So I don't think so just yet. I think society has had a lot of help bringing pole to the forefront. We had that Hustlers movie. We've had it portrayed in music in different ways with people like Cardi B and things like that. So it's come to the forefront as an actual thing people do. But I don't think people are just yet making that switch to, oh, this is actually a sport. Yeah.
So that's great. And I would say, because I kept referring to it as dancing and whatever, and can you be like, yeah, so the sport, and I'm like, okay, I hear you.
I do that. Oh my gosh.
I hear you.
Change.
So that's how I'm like, okay, and I think
Right.
I always drive home the importance of conversation. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? What are 3 things, if somebody's trying it for the first time, what are 3 things you suggest they bring with them?
Bring with them to a class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so again, pole, when it comes to dancing on the pole, again, people think of like, okay, in the club, that kind of atmosphere, but there's a reason why, when people do pole, they're not fully clothed. They're not in long pants and long sleeve shirts. You need your skin to connect with the pole. And that it's a safety thing. Like, you need your skin to stay on the pole. So come in a crop top if that's something you feel comfortable wearing. Or if not, wear just a t-shirt or a wife beater, something like that that's going to show your arms so that you can have that skin contact with the pole. Again, wearing shorts. Sometimes I'll wear swimsuit bottoms to my pole classes because I want my legs exposed as much as possible to keep me onto the pole. So one, appropriate attire. Don't come in long basketball shorts because sis, you ain't gonna stick. You ain't gonna stick to that pole. You ain't gonna stick. So that's number one. Number two, bring a willing spirit and a willing attitude. Be open to trying something new, especially if it's your first class and you've never tried it before. It's okay if you don't stick that move the first time around. It's okay if maybe you didn't get your coordination just right. Just be open to having fun and learning something new. That's very important when it comes to pole. Because I know for myself, if my mindset is off or if I'm not in the best mood when I come into a class, it reflects in how I do. So 2, bring a willing spirit and attitude. 3, what are 3 things you can? Heck, water. Bring some water.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated. It's, again, I refer to it as a sport because there's levels to pole. Usually with these pole classes, we're in there, not all classes, but sometimes we're in there barefoot, just trying to, stick moves and get the skills. So you'll start sweating, you'll get a little hot. So bring some water with you. So appropriate attire, a willing spirit and attitude, and some water, girl.
What are like the most what are the most challenging aspects for people who are plus size when they like get introduced to pole?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the most challenging aspects, I think, is here, mindset. And that's why one of the things I said is come with a willing spirit, a willing attitude, but also a willing mindset. People will come into the class and they'll say, are the poles safe for me to climb? And that's a valid question. Especially for us as plus size individuals in society, that's valid. We're told that, hey, maybe we're too big for rise, or, you're too heavy for that. Don't do that, or you're going to break it. Don't go that way. So we come into the studio and pole studios feeling that way too. We're tugging on the pole. And you're like, you sure this thing going to fit?
Is
yes,
it a fatty friendly pole?
And there's no such thing as a fatty friendly pole. And so when I hear
some of them videos on YouTube, not everybody makes it.
Not everybody makes it, and whether they plus size or not. So
that is true. That is true. So that is just the structural integrity of
that is all about the structural integrity and how you put your pole up. So, for people who have home poles, be careful out there. But coming into the pole studio, people will think that maybe the pole is not going to fit them, or again, is this a size appropriate? Most poles go up to about 400 pounds plus. So most plus size individuals will be able to do just fine on the pole. They'll do just fine. So that's what I think is the struggle most plus size individuals come into the studio with. It's the mindset of, hey, is this going to work? Or just fear of how they're going to be perceived by others in the class or by their instructor. And again, I think that's a valid fear to have for someone who's plus size.
Right. And I tell people all the time, I think out of my friends, I'm probably one of the most immersed in the plus size universe. And that's where I feel most comfortable, because I also feel like I'm probably the one who's had the most social trauma, you know what I'm saying, of everybody. So I'm one of those people who would worry about, is this gonna hold my weight? I've broken things before, I've been recorded, and actually one of the reasons we were supposed to do a fat and active workshop, but privacy, was one of our biggest concerns, and we didn't want people photographing people, recording people for the purposes of making fun of them. So I as a person definitely understand that, and that's why I'm so happy to be doing this with you, because one of the goals of Shapely is to seek out and recognize brands and establishments that foster these positive environments for people of size.
Yeah. And earlier you mentioned community when we were talking about, how we perceive our sexiness, and sometimes being and aligning yourself with other people can help with that. And that's why I love the 6-week series that I teach, because all of us are plus size. I'm plus size. I'm your instructor. I'm teaching you the moves. So I get it. I understand. And coming into the classroom from day one, I say, you know what? Take pictures. Take pictures. I encourage that. Take videos, because you want to see your progress from now, week 1 to week 6. So I encourage that, get a chance to know the person around you, because we're going to be together for 6 weeks. We might as well know each other. So talk to one another. I try my very best to foster that community, so that the mindset, the walls that are there can start to break down. And literally from week 1, I'll see people come into the class with, maybe long basketball shorts, not quite sure of, what to do, but they want to come. So they're here. To week 6, shorty in booty shorts. Hey. Shorty got a sports bra on. Shorty up here like, hey, at the camera. It's such a transformation. So it's like, it's a way to not only get your self-confidence and sexiness back, but it's just a way to get you into a different mode of mindset. And I see it from week 1 to week 6. I see that transformation, not only with how strong they're getting with pole, but how they feel. It's an awesome transformation, really.
I have a question too, because, this is like kind of an interview. So naturally I will have questions. The plus size community at times could be plagued by like ambulatory issues. So for some, a pole is not an option. Can somebody tap into their inner sexy, their inner Vixen, sans the pole?
Yes, they can. Now, in addition to pole, we do things called floor work. So for example, there are pole moves that take you down to the floor. Instead of it bringing you onto your feet, you're now booty down on the floor. So what can you do on the floor to make a routine look really good? You can do really sexy things with your legs, point those toes, do some bicycles with the legs. There's so many things you can definitely do. I on Instagram, I love Instagram. I'm such a social media whore. But
social media party.
but with Instagram and these social platforms, I found so many individuals who are plus size or have, like you said, ambulatory issues, may struggle with a disability, and they found some kind of way to make that sport work for them. And that's why I feel representation is like, that's what you need. You need plus size individuals teaching this form of dance and this form of art. You need those who may have disabilities, whichever way, whether it's a health disability or like a physical ailment or disability, in the forefront teaching these things to say, hey, I can do it and so can you.
Yeah.
This one hits home for me. My voice is probably gonna crack because I'm gonna cry. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, like, sometimes I've struggled with this in relationships. I have, and it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know how to be sexy. I don't know what to do. This is me.
Spit fingers. This is me.
You remember Stewart? Who remembers Stewart from Mad TV?
I do.
Where he's like, look at me. Like that's me. And when I tell you I have struggled, you know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad. Again, I'm so glad for this community. I'm so glad for plus size events and stuff like that. Our events page, people go to our events page. But to meet people, you know what I'm saying? With you living in Philly, I doubt we would have ever just by chance ran into one another.
Right. It had to be through community and through these things. So I'm thankful too. Like this is what we need.
And then to me, this ties into our last month's episode about making friends. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's so many different communities that there's no limit on it. You know what I'm saying? It can be a variety of things. It can be close. It could be far. It could be a travel group. It could be this. It could be that. But once you like stop and have that conversation, you'll be surprised at how people can impact your life.
A common
Absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I know you guys mentioned Jasmine. Jasmine's also a really good friend of mine. Like, she's here in Philly as well. But you guys know how I met Jasmine?
No.
We would love to hear the story.
Through the 6 weeks pole series that I teach at the studio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this was like 2019. And that's when we first started this series. And when I first started teaching, I think we did one series and then we repeated it again. And I think Jasmine was in that second series that we did. And we've been cool ever since. She's been such a blessing to my life to know her. So look at that. Like,
we be knowing people.
And sexy. I just want y'all to drink to this. Fostering new relationships.
Yes.
So do you have anything where I know we are working on ideating and figuring out a collab to do just what we said, more so floor work, because the average person, at least I don't have a pole in my house.
I don't either.
But to do like a live or something to tap into that. I want to do some bicycle kicks,
Yes.
I would accidentally look over the corner like this.
Because like I just started dating somebody and like I want to try some moves out, girl. I want to try
Yes, girl. You know what? For those
whatever could fit. Look.
Whatever could fit. Y'all funny.
Look what I can do.
Hair whip.
Hair whip. So is there anything that you're working on? Anything anybody can tap into? Feel free.
Yes. So again, I'm located in Philly. So for anyone who's in the Philadelphia area or the surrounding counties, you can get here easily and accessibly. I teach at Awakenings Pole Fitness. And on the 27th of August, I'll be teaching a Twerk Shop Yes, it's a 75-minute workshop. We're going to be learning twerk moves.
Hold on, we were supposed to discuss this at the beginning. Like, girl, like what?
Yes, twerk moves. And at the end, we're going to learn a nice little twerk routine so you can have something to take home.
You got to send us this. We would have listed it on the event. We are listing it on the event.
Send us to share.
Yes, come through if you can. It's August 27th, only in person, not virtual at all. So if you can come in person, come through. I'd love to see you.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds, we might have to skirt. We might have to
skirt.
Just because I got all this booty, that twerking is so easy.
It is. All you got to do is walk.
Let me see you walk.
Exactly.
It's hard. It's so hard. And people ask, like, how did you learn how to twerk? And I'm just like, college basement parties. How you learn how to twerk?
That's your training grounds. I was gonna say, any West Indian, first generation American, from the time that dub plate go on. It's time to put them knees shoulder wide.
Right. Get on down.
Right.
This waistline is accustomed to these activities.
Yeah, we wasn't doing all that. We wasn't doing all that.
Nah. Y'all was Dutty whining and whatnot. Dutty wine.
So, now we go into events we look forward to. Let's start with the Twerk Shop.
Twerk Shop, yes.
Definitely trying to pull up on that one.
Yes.
Come through.
Bash season is in full effect. So our events page is like so robust now. I need you guys to really head on over. We're starting, speaking of meeting people, Shapely Social. So we're going to be focusing on providing lifestyle experiences to people of size. Yeah. So that's going to be anything from picking, pumpkin picking, movies, bowling,
trivia night.
Yeah, things that we would do anyway, like in our own time, but extending the invite for people who may struggle some, because we have noticed like a void in that sense, and like everything for the most part is a drawn out event. Like it's either 3 days here, 5 days here, or whatever. And sometimes like you just want to link up and go to the movies.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we're gonna definitely thrive, and what we're not trying to
I love that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love the ski trip that Shapely you guys hosted in January. That was just phenomenal. So these events sound awesome and right up my alley. So
you'll get the invite at the Twerk Shop.
Yes. Also want to mention, in addition to the Twerk Shop that's happening, for anyone who does have a pole at home and maybe they're not in an accessible area, or they just want to take classes with someone who is plus size and can represent them, I'll be offering online pole classes. So you can find, look at Iya, she's at
on right now. You gonna order Is this man gonna walk in the house and I'm gonna be descending from the ceiling?
Yep, just coming down nice and slow, like,
hey.
Welcome home, babe. So yes.
That's like legit gonna be our low key, inside joke. Look what I can do.
Look what I can do.
That's and again, the kids are back in school. If y'all parents go to work a little bit late,
if you work from home and wake up an hour before the Zoom meeting like I did,
yeah, them parents like, it's time for them to go back to school. Physically. Physically go.
That's great. Thank you so much, Kenny, for joining us on this episode. I thank you for opening my eyes to the sport aspect of it, and also the scientific aspect of it. You need your skin for friction.
Yes.
Who knew?
Get naked. Just come naked.
Okay.
Just come naked.
When you get there, I don't want anybody to
pick
that
me now.
I'm not responsible for any nudity charges that ensue.
It's a suggestion. So you dropped some scientific, facts too. I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
More like the physics of it all.
Yeah. That makes sense. I'm just like, okay.
You gotta be naked. It's for safety.
And then sometimes they put, what is that? Is it a powder or a cream? Like sometimes, not that I paid
Yeah.
Chalk. Is it chalk? Like
So yeah, there's grip. There's hand grip that you can put on. There's different types. There's a type that I really like that helps to dry the hands out a little bit and helps you stick better to the pole. There's other grips that's more sticky and tacky than anything else. But yeah, that helps you stick to the pole too.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
If we get an endorsement, we'll drop it in the description. We'll drop her preferred grip if there's an endorsement.
if you know, we won't say no names.
Right. But thank you again. I'm Iya across all platforms at Shapely Events.
I'm Toya again on Twitter at Toya Do It Big.
And
awesome.
Take it away.
And I'm Kenyetta, again, teaching pole classes. If you want to find out about the Twerk Shop or those online pole classes that I'll be offering, go to my Instagram at mypolefitnessjourney_.
It will be right here for you guys somewhere.
And it will be on shapelyevents.com too.
Excellent. Yes.
But thank you guys for joining us. Have a good day.